I do not wish women to have power over men, but over themselves. Women are systematically degraded by receiving the trivial attentions which men think it manly to pay to the sex, when, in fact, men are insultingly supporting their own superiority. I wish to persuade women to endeavor to acquire strength, both of mind and body. Strengthen the female mind by enlarging it, and there will be an end to blind obedience. Make women rational creatures, and free citizens, and they will quickly become good wives. That is, if men do not neglect the duties of husbands and fathers. My dreams were all my own, I accounted for them to nobody, they were my refuge when annoyed, my dearest pleasure when free. In fact, it is a farce to call any being virtuous whose virtues do not result from the exercise of its own reason. Every political good carried to the extreme must be productive of evil. People thinking for themselves have more energy in their voice than any government which it is possible for human wisdom to invent, and every government not aware of this sacred truth will, at some period, be suddenly overturned. Only that education deserves emphatically to be termed cultivation of the mind, which teaches young people how to begin to think. Surely something resides in this heart that is not perishable, and life is more than a dream. When we feel deeply, we reason profoundly. Independence I have long considered as the grand blessing of life, the basis of every virtue, and independence I will ever secure by contracting my wants, though I were to live on a barren heath. Let woman share the rights and she will emulate the virtues of man, for she must grow more perfect when emancipated. It is vain to expect virtue from women till they are in some degree independent of men. For the improvement must be mutual, or the injustice which one half of the human race are obliged to submit to, retorting on their oppressors, the virtue of men will be worm-eaten by the insect whom he keeps under his feet. Make them free, and they will quickly become wise and virtuous, as men become more so. Taught from infancy that beauty is woman's scepter, the mind shapes itself to the body, and roaming round its gilt cage, only seeks to adorn its prison. It is time to effect a revolution in female manners, time to restore to them their lost dignity. It is time to separate unchangeable morals from local manners. No man chooses evil because it is evil, he only mistakes it for happiness, the good he seeks. Women have seldom sufficient employment to silence their feelings. Men and women must be educated, in a great degree, by the opinions and manners of the society they live in. Men, in general, seem to employ their reason to justify prejudices, rather than to root them out. Children, I grant, should be innocent, but when the epithet is applied to men, or women, it is but a civil term for weakness. Love from its very nature must be transitory. To seek for a secret that would render it constant would be as wild a search as for the philosopher's stone or the grand panacea. Virtue can only flourish among equals. I never wanted but your heart, that gone, you have nothing more to give. Wollstonecraft was born on the 27th of April 1759 to the 10th of September 1797 in Spitalfields, London. She was the second of the 7 children of Elizabeth Dixon and Edward John Wollstonecraft. Although her family had a comfortable income when she was a child, her father gradually squandered it on speculative projects. Consequently, the family became financially unstable and they were frequently forced to move during Wollstonecraft's youth. During her brief career she wrote novels, treatises, a travel narrative, a history of the French Revolution, a conduct book, and a children's book. Wollstonecraft is best known for A Vindication of the Rights of Woman 1792, in which she argues that women are not naturally inferior to men but appear to be only because they lack education. She suggests that both men and women should be treated as rational beings and imagines a social order founded on reason. After Wollstonecraft's death, her widower published a memoir 1798 of her life, revealing her unorthodox lifestyle, which inadvertently destroyed her reputation for almost a century. However, with the emergence of the feminist movement at the turn of the 20th century, Wollstonecraft's advocacy of women's equality and critiques of conventional femininity became increasingly important. After 2 ill-fated affairs, with Henry Fuseli and Gilbert Imlay, by whom she had a daughter, Fanny Imlay, Wollstonecraft married the philosopher William Godwin, one of the forefathers of the anarchist movement. Wollstonecraft died at the age of 38, leaving behind several unfinished manuscripts. She died 11 days after giving birth to her second daughter, Mary Shelley, who would become an accomplished writer and the author of Frankenstein. Mary Wollstonecraft was a British writer, philosopher, and advocate of women's rights. Until the late 20th century, Wollstonecraft's life, which encompassed several unconventional personal relationships at the time, received more attention than her writing. Today Wollstonecraft is regarded as one of the founding feminist philosophers, and feminists often cite both her life and her works as important influences.